There are some cars that are designed to be sensible, some that are designed to be practical, and then there are cars designed to make you look twice. The Toyota CHR has always belonged firmly in that third category. But for 2026, Toyota has taken the latest generation CHR and refined the formula rather than completely reinventing it. The result is a compact crossover that combines dramatic styling, hybrid efficiency, a surprisingly sophisticated interior, and the reassurance of Toyota's established electrified powertrain technology. But there's an important question to answer. Is a 2026 Toyota CHR actually a better car to live with, or is it simply a stylish alternative to the increasingly crowded European crossover market? Today, we're going to look at the design, interior, technology, practicality, driving experience, hybrid and plug-in hybrid powertrains, running costs, comfort, and, most importantly, whether the CHR makes sense for buyers in the UK and across Europe. Let's start with the thing that immediately separates the CHR from almost everything else in this class: the styling. Toyota clearly didn't want the CHR to disappear into the background. The current generation carries forward the sharp, almost concept car-like appearance that made the original CHR such a recognizable sight on European roads, but the design has been made cleaner and more sophisticated. At the front, the bodywork is tightly sculpted around the headlights, while the slim lighting signature gives the car a distinctly modern appearance. The bonnet and front bumper have a purposeful shape, and the overall nose looks much more aerodynamic than that of conventional small SUV. Move around to the side, and the CHR becomes even more interesting. The roofline slopes aggressively towards the rear, giving the car almost a coupe-like profile. The door handles sit neatly within the bodywork, while the surfaces are deliberately clean rather than covered in unnecessary lines. It is a design that looks particularly effective in darker colors, although Toyota's newer color choices give buyers more opportunity to personalize the car. For 2026, Toyota has introduced colors including storm gray and lunar sky blue across the European range, adding some fresh visual options. At the rear, the CHR continues the same theme. The tail lamps are integrated into a wide, modern lighting signature, and the rear bodywork looks compact and muscular. There's a small spoiler integrated into the roofline, and the overall shape communicates that this is a crossover design with style as a priority. Toyota has also expanded the availability of its GR Sport specification for 2026, including the 1.8-liter hybrid. That is significant because it gives buyers who don't want a more expensive powertrain an opportunity to have the sportier-looking version of the CHR. And that brings us nicely to the different versions. The 2026 European CHR isn't simply one engine in one specification. Toyota offers both self-charging hybrid and plug-in hybrid technology, giving customers two very different approaches to electrification. The 1.8-liter self-charging hybrid produces 140 DIN horsepower, while a more powerful 2.0-liter hybrid produces 180 horsepower. Then there's the 2.0-liter plug-in hybrid, producing 223 DIN horsepower. Toyota's official figures naturally vary according to specification, wheels, and driving conditions. But the important point is that the CHR gives buyers a choice between straightforward hybrid motoring and genuine plug-in electric driving. For many UK and European buyers, I suspect the 1.8-liter self-charging hybrid will be the most interesting version. Why? Because it doesn't require you to change your lifestyle. You don't need a home charger, you don't need to remember to plug the car in every night, and you don't have to worry about planning long journeys around charging stops. The system can recover energy during deceleration and braking, store that energy in the hybrid battery, and then use it to assist a petrol engine or drive the car electrically when conditions allow. That makes the CHR particularly attractive to people who want to reduce fuel consumption without making the complete transition to a battery electric vehicle. Toyota quotes combined fuel economy for the MY26 1.8-liter hybrid at around 57.4 to 57.6 miles per gallon under WLTP, with CO2 emissions around 110 to 111 grams per kilometer, depending on specification. Those are official laboratory figures, of course, rather than a promise of what every driver will achieve. Your real-world economy will depend on traffic, weather, temperature, driving style, speed, and the wheels and equipment fitted to the car. But the underlying hybrid system is designed precisely for the kind of driving many European motorists experience every day: urban traffic, commuting, stop-start conditions, and relatively moderate speeds. The plug-in hybrid takes a different approach. The 2.0-liter PHEV combines a petrol engine with a significantly larger battery, allowing the car to operate as a proper electric vehicle for shorter journeys before switching back to hybrid operation. In the UK, Toyota quotes an official electric range of up to 41 miles for the CHR plug-in hybrid. That's potentially enough for many daily commutes, school runs and local journeys to be completed without starting the petrol engine, assuming the battery is charged and your real-world conditions allow it. Toyota also quotes very low official CO2 figures for the plug-in hybrid, around 19 to 20 grams per kilometer depending on version. But there's an important catch with any plug-in hybrid. You actually have to plug it in. If you have access to home charging and regularly drive within that electric range, the PHEV can make a lot of sense. If you never charge it, however, you're carrying around a larger battery without taking full advantage of its biggest benefit. For a driver with a driveway, home charger, and a daily commute of perhaps 20 or 30 miles, the PHEV could be extremely appealing. For somebody who parks on the street and rarely has access to charging, the self-charging hybrid may be the more logical choice. Now let's talk about what it is like from behind the wheel. The CHR has never been intended to be a sports car, despite the availability of the GR Sport badge. Its real strength is a combination of refinement, efficiency, and confident handling. The steering is relatively light at low speeds, which makes the car easy to maneuver around town, while the suspension is tuned to deal with the imperfections you regularly encounter on European roads. And that's important because a car can look fantastic in a showroom but become irritating after several hours on the motorway. The CHR's low roofline and aerodynamic shape suggest something sporty, but the driving experience is actually much more mature than the styling initially implies. It is quiet around town, particularly when the hybrid system allows a car to operate electrically, and the higher powered versions have enough performance to make motorway driving and overtaking feel effortless. The 1.8-liter hybrid is a sensible option, but if you regularly travel with passengers or spend a lot of time on faster roads, the 2.0-liter hybrid is likely to feel more relaxed. With 180 horsepower, it gives the CHR more breathing room when accelerating onto motorways or overtaking slow traffic. The plug-in hybrid takes performance another step further, with 223 horsepower, making it the quickest and most powerful member of the range. However, there is a characteristic of Toyota's hybrid system that some drivers will notice immediately. When you accelerate hard, the engine can become quite audible as a continuously variable transmission manages the relationship between engine speed and road speed. It's not necessarily a problem, but if you're coming from a conventional turbocharged petrol engine with a traditional automatic gearbox, the sensation can feel different. Around town and during gentle acceleration, however, the system is much quieter and smoother. One of the biggest strengths of the CHR is its cabin. Toyota has clearly put more effort into making the interior feel modern and premium. The dashboard has a clean, driver-focused layout, while digital displays and the central infotainment screen give the cabin a much more contemporary feel than some previous Toyota interiors. Depending on specification, equipment can include a head-up display, premium JBL audio, panoramic roof options, and advanced driver assistance technology. For 2026, the GR Sport specification is particularly interesting because Toyota has expanded it to include the 1.8-liter hybrid. The GR Sport versions feature distinctive styling, larger alloy wheels, and additional equipment, with the more powerful versions using 20-inch wheels. The 1.8-liter GR Sport gets 19-inch alloys. Toyota also offers a GR Sport with equipment such as a head-up display, while options include features such as a panoramic roof and JBL sound system depending on the configuration. The quality of the cabin is generally good, although there are still some harder plastics in areas where your hands don't frequently touch. That's not unusual in this class, and Toyota has concentrated the softer and more visually important materials around the areas you actually see and interact with. The overall impression is modern rather than luxurious, which is probably the right positioning for the CHR. Technology is another area where modern Toyota has moved considerably beyond the rather conservative infotainment systems of the past. The CHR comes with a digital driver display and a central touchscreen, with Toyota's connected services and smartphone integration helping the car feel much more at home in 2026. The exact screen sizes and equipment depend on trim level, but the overall user experience is much more competitive with the best European and Korean rivals. Then there's safety, and this is an area where Toyota has traditionally been strong. The CHR is equipped with a comprehensive collection of driver assistance systems designed to help monitor the road, maintain safe distances, and reduce the consequences of potential collisions. For 2026, Toyota has also made a driver monitor camera standard across the European range. The system is designed to detect signs of driver distraction or fatigue, and is connected with the emergency driving stop system. That may sound like a small detail, but it reflects a much wider change in modern vehicles. Cars are no longer simply reacting to what's happening outside the vehicle. They are increasingly monitoring the driver's condition as well. Used properly, these systems can provide an additional layer of safety, particularly on long motorway journeys. Now let's discuss one of the CHR's biggest compromises: practicality. The The CHR looks like a crossover, but it doesn't offer the same sense of spaciousness as a conventional family SUV. The sloping roofline inevitably reduces the amount of space available above the rear passengers, while the dramatic rear styling creates a darker environment for people sitting in the back. The rear windows are also relatively small. For adults traveling in the rear, this means the CHR isn't necessarily the most spacious option in the segment. If you frequently carry 4 adults on long journeys, there are more practical choices. But if your typical use involves 1 or 2 people during the week, with occasional rear passengers, the CHR's compromises become much easier to accept. The boot is also perfectly usable. But again, practicality varies with powertrain and specification. The plug-in hybrid's larger battery can affect luggage capacity compared with some hybrid versions. So if maximum boot space is a priority, this is another area where you should compare the exact version rather than simply looking at the CHR name. But here's the thing, Toyota knows exactly what kind of buyer the CHR is targeting. This isn't supposed to be a replacement for a large family SUV. It is aimed at buyers who want something smaller, more stylish, and more distinctive, while still having enough everyday practicality for normal life. And that positioning makes the CHR quite interesting in the European market. Look at its competition and you'll find cars such as the Nissan Qashqai, Hyundai Kona, Kia Niro, Peugeot 3008, Renault Austral, and a whole collection of compact crossovers fighting for the same customers. Some are more practical, some are cheaper, some offer longer electric ranges, some have larger boots, but very few look quite like the CHR. Toyota's strategy is essentially to combine the desirability of a coupe-inspired crossover with the efficiency and reliability reputation associated with hybrid technology. For UK buyers, running costs are obviously important. Fuel prices, insurance, servicing, road tax, and company car taxation can all influence the overall cost of ownership. The CHR's relatively low CO2 output can be particularly relevant to company car drivers, while the plug-in hybrid can potentially offer very attractive tax positioning depending on the applicable tax year and the driver's circumstances. Toyota's UK information currently highlights a 9% benefit in kind figure for the CHR plug-in hybrid based on its stated example and applicable tax assumptions. Although buyers should always check the latest government and manufacturer figures for their individual situation, Toyota also offers an interesting warranty proposition in the UK. Through its service-activated warranty program, qualifying servicing can extend warranty cover up to 10 years or 100,000 miles, subject to the program conditions. That's a significant consideration for anyone planning to keep the car for many years rather than changing it after a typical 3-year finance term, and reliability is arguably one of the CHR's strongest selling points. Toyota has spent decades developing hybrid systems, and the company's hybrid technology is now a familiar sight across European roads. That doesn't mean that Toyota is completely immune from problems, because no modern vehicle is, but the established nature of the technology gives buyers confidence. And as always, don't judge it purely by the brochure figures. Drive the exact engine and trim you are considering, test the rear seats, check the boot with your own luggage, and think honestly about whether you can take advantage of the plug-in hybrid's charging capability. Because with the CHR, choosing the right version is just as important as choosing the car itself. For me, that is what makes this Toyota so interesting in 2026. It doesn't simply ask whether you want a hybrid SUV. It asks what kind of hybrid SUV actually fits your life. And that is a question worth answering before you sign on the dotted line.